I'm a slow reader, always have been, gotten a little faster over time, but generally not very fast at reading. But over the past 10-ish years of reading and developing learning systems, I've been able to build a system where I can read an entire book in 25 minutes and extract all the main points and be able to take away things long term, new understandings, new information better than I would if I read this whole book word for word and sub-vocalized every word. So how do I do that? Well, I thought today I would show you with this 24 minutes left. I'm going to show you how I do it. No editing, no cuts, no script. This is how you do it. This is a new book. I thought this was very cool. I thought it was a great idea. I'm building more and more broad, because I'm understanding that if you have a big picture, if you have the map, then all the little details in the map can easily just get stuck in there. But when you get siloed into a field, you can be blocked out and get blinded. You can have your blinders on and miss out on the big picture. And so then you don't really understand the things that well. You only understand them within a certain context. So to build a general understanding of the world, I thought, let's go broad. And so I saw this title, A Short History of Nearly Everything, Bill Bryson. So I'm assuming it's a short history on everything. All right. In a short history of nearly everything, the famed and much beloved writer Bill Bryson confronts his greatest challenge to understand and, if possible, answer the oldest, biggest questions we have posed about the universe and ourselves. Taking as his history everything from the Big Bang and the rise of civilization, Bryson seeks to understand how we got from there being nothing at all to there being us. To that end, he has attached himself to a host of the world's most advanced and often obsessed archaeologists, paleontologists, physicists, astronomers, anthropologists, and mathematicians traveling to their offices, laboratories, and field camps. A short history of nearly everything is the record of his quest and is a profound, funny, supremely clear, and entertaining adventure in the realms of human knowledge as only Bill Bryson can render it. All right, got a bunch of other quotes. So this guy's a writer. He went through to a bunch of professors and experts in their fields all over the different sciences and maths and history to try to build a big picture understanding to answer the biggest questions of really how did we get here from, the universe being essentially nothing or infinite mass in a infinitesimally small space to now being galaxies and solar systems and Earth and life. So I assume he starts at the Big Bang then. Now I'm just gonna, so I've read this big overview of the book. Cool. I've got 22 minutes still. I've already got a general sense of what this book is going to be about. Got a little bit of understanding of the author. Now I'm just going to flip into the contents. So I'm seeing there's parts of this book, 6 parts: Lost in the Cosmos, The Size of the Earth, A New Age of Dawns, Dangerous Planets, Life Itself, The Road to Us, How to Build a Universe, Welcome to the Solar System, The Reverend Evans Universe, The Measure of Things, The Stonebreakers, Science Read in Tooth and Nail, or Tooth and Claw, Elemental Matter, Einstein's Universe, The Mighty Atom, Getting the Let Out, Muster Marks Quartz, The Earth Moves, Bang, The Fire Below, Dangerous Beauty, Lonely Planet, Into the Troposphere, The Bounding Main, The Rise of Life, Small World, Life Goes On, Goodbye to All That, The Richness of Being, Cells, Darwin's Singular Notion, The Stuff of Life, Ice Time, The Mysterious Bite, The Restless Ape, Goodbye. Okay, so it's kind of doesn't look extremely scientific or organized in such way. And now I'm just kind of flipping through, no real pictures. So just chapter titles, a little bit of quotes. Okay, so I'm assuming there's going to be a lot about evolution, a lot about the Big Bang, and potentially a little bit about history. But now what I'll do is I'll jump into ChatGPT, and this is what I call Learning System V2, and I would show you what this is trained on, but I'm not exactly sure how to do that. This is my learning system. And I can't figure out how to show you. All right, we're wasting time. I got 20 minutes left. If you're interested in seeing what this AI is trained on, this ChatGPT, I can for sure show that. But here we go. So I've got 20 minutes to master a short history of nearly everything by Bryson. Yeah, big in this method is typing speed, so I've been training that a bit over the past couple of months. Perfect 20 minutes is just enough time to compress high velocity review. So preload recall. Before I say anything, what do you already know about a short history of what is the book about in your own words? What is the topic sections you remember? I have not read it. I believe, I assume it starts with the Big Bang, kind of a little history of how Earth came to be, and then evolution, and maybe some history. Okay, mostly accurate. Summarize what you just predicted in one sentence, no more 15 words. It's true. The book is trying to answer big questions of life through multiple field lenses. All right. Mental framework, the 6 major buckets Bryson organized the book, try to predict the kind of questions or concepts each section covers. Guess before I explain. For the first one, jot down 1 or 2 ideas or topics you think might appear. Probably Big Bang, size of cosmos. Your turn. Well, you already took the Big Bang for that. Yeah, formation of galaxies, stars, solar systems. What else? Quickly. Expansion of universe. Okay. Earth, formation of Earth, and prehistory of or history of Earth before life. Like there's different archaeological eras, eras. I don't remember. 3, life itself, evolution, Darwin, single cells to multi-cell. Yeah, this is humans arrive. Evolution of humans, prehistory, anthropology, and beginning tribes to beginning history of civilization. Science, so like development of civilization and increasing memes / abstractions in development of thought and writing and language. Though language may, yeah, sure, it could be before that as well. And then limits of knowledge. Not sure. This may be about the future. This may also be about epistemology. Okay. Yep. You're right. Big Bang, cosmic inflation, the scale of cosmos, quantum uncertainty, emphasis on how little we actually know, formation from stardust, accretion disk, plate tectonics, and how Earth stayed habitable, how fragile it is, abiogenesis, so the beginning of life, I believe, early cells, improbability of DNA, evolution over eons, how often life nearly got wiped out, humans arrived, Neanderthals, Homo sapiens, the migration out of Africa, true. A lot of how much we infer from bones and guesses, science and discovery, more focused on eccentric scientists, Newton, Kelvin, Rutherford, and how flawed or lucky many discoveries were. Epistemology, the fragility of science, and how much remains unknown. Also, human error, bias, and humility and knowledge. All right. Challenge recall. Tier 1. What's one theme or lesson you think Bryson wants readers to walk away with? That we shouldn't be so arrogant about knowledge. We really know practically nothing. And an individual is microscopic in the vastness of the universe. Also, we shouldn't, it was supposed to be one, take civilization and life for granted. All right, that was multiple. Mechanism. Why does Brian emphasize how many scientists were wrong or eccentric? Not sure on this one. Maybe because failure and thinking outside of the box is what has progressed us. All right. Edge case. If Bryson were writing a chapter on AI, how do you think he would frame it based on his style? I don't know what this means, but we got to answer quickly. He would probably talk about epistemology and its potential, AI's potential limits, as well as potential upside. I don't know. All right. Bryson's central theme is humility. That's the whole central theme of the book is humility. We live in an astonishing, unlikely world and know shocking little about it. It's a mix of awe, absurdity, and fragility. Eccentric sciences. He highlights flawed, quirky sciences and how science is a human process, messy and error-prone. Progress often comes from obsessive weirdos, not polished institutions. Facts, brother. It reinforces the idea certainty is a myth. Inquiry matters more than perfection. Facts. That's epistemology. Okay, facts. Here we go. AI, energy, edge case. Nailed it. We've created something we barely understand to help us understand things we barely understand. Existential awe and comic humility, and raise questions about what intelligence even means. Final round, compression, and teach back. Final round. We got 12 minutes left, bro. You got 30 seconds. Imagine you're explaining this book to a 12-year-old. What's a short history of nearly everything about? Max 3 sentences. It's about knowledge, how we got here and how we try to, and the methods we use to try to understand the universe, understand things. It's a story of how the universe, Earth, life, and humans came to be, and how we figured out that out. It shows how strange, lucky, and fragile everything is, and how little we still really understand. Okay, now you're humility is a big central idea of the book. We barely understand anything. Certainty is a myth, and history and knowledge has been progressed by these lucky, eccentric, weirdo obsessives. He talks about all the way from the Big Bang until modern day, how, you start with nothing in the universe, the Big Bang, the expansion of the universe, the formation of galaxies, explosion of stars, formation of our solar system, formation of Earth, and then the billions of years of Earth as it's inhabitable, and then, or it's uninhabitable, and then the origin of life, abiogenesis. I mean, I don't know how certain he acts on the origin of life, but the origin of life, and then evolution, the process, and the evolution of humans out of life, out of animals, and then the beginning of history, and then the progression of civilization into modern day, how weird, uncertain, unknown, strange, fragile everything is, and Dunning-Kruger effect. Essentially, I love that concept. Is most people that know very little about the universe think they know a lot and are very certain about things they think they know, and the people that know a lot are much less certain on anything. Okay, yeah, working mastery. Theme, structure, tone, and purpose in under 20 minutes. 1 of 5 question rapid quiz. Bruh, I got 9 minutes left. Let's go. All right, lock it in. Okay, cool. I like these. Why does Bryson start the book with the Big Bang Theory? To discuss religion, to show how the universe is big, the universe is, to frame how little we know about the beginnings. Probably C. We don't know much about beginnings. The beginning of the universe, the beginning of life. Yeah, those are the 2 big ones. Bryson describes many scientists as odd, stubborn, or wrong. What's the point of this? Science and the progress of knowledge is messy and human. 3, Earth is portrayed as stable and eternal. Resilient and unchanging. Delicate and improbably balanced. That's your answer. What's one example of something nearly wiping out all of life on Earth? Meteor strike. You could probably say volcanic eruption as well. Possibly say virus. Maybe not. Global warming. You're something Cold War. You're explaining Bryson's main idea to a friend in 5 words or less. What the? 5 words or less. History of everything. All right. I don't know how else to say that. There we go. That's just yep. All right. Oh, we got all 5. You can now confidently summarize, contextualize, and apply Bryson's short history of nearly everything. All right. Well, we got 7 more minutes. How well do I understand this book? Core theme: humility and the fate of vast unknowns. Structure: you map to 6 sections. Tone: recognize humor, awe, eccentricity. Application: compression. Okay. Tier 3, 8.7 out of 10. Advanced general mastery, could teach it casually or apply its ideas. All right. Let's get the 10 out of 10 in 6 minutes or less. All right. Name one anecdote about a quirky scientist Bryson includes. Tell me who and what happened. I don't know. Newton. Stubborn virgin. Describe a scientific mechanism or discovery journey covered in the book. Plate tectonics, age of Earth, DNA. Describe a scientific mechanism or discovery journey covered in the book. Describe. I don't know. Evolution. Survival of the or you say mechanisms such as what is it called? Sexual selection, but what's the original one called? Natural selection. Gene drift. Etc. Whatever. We'll call it good. Bryson's view on epistemology in his closing chapter. What tension does he highlight? Certainty is a myth. All right. Socially withdrawn, obsessively private, possibly never had a romantic relationship. Once stared at the sun until he was blinded himself just to understand optics. Hid his calculus for years out of spite. Even genius is flawed and emotional. You've got the terms right. Bonus angles. Evolution isn't a clean ladder. It's a messy bush of failed experiments. Most species go extinct. 99.9% of all life is gone. We know little about transitional forms because fossilization is rare and biased. Epistemology, certainty is a myth, bang on, extra nuance, even simple numbers like Earth's age were wildly wrong for centuries. Scientific consensus shifts constantly. Truth is often just the test or the least wrong current model. Cool. Bryson ends by saying we should be grateful and amazed to even be here. Status 10 out of 10. So you now have structural fluency, anecdotal recall, mechanistic understanding, philosophical depth. We'll call that good. So there you go. I mean, this is how I would start any book I'll read and also get a good understanding of the book before I read it, if I'm going to read it or not. I will, to be fair, I've read a lot of books that are similar to this. I've read, A Brief History of Time. I've read Sapiens. I've read The Selfish Gene. And those are pretty good books that go even more in depth into a lot of these concepts. But yeah, I mean, there you go. 22 and a half minutes. I've ripped out that whole book. This would have taken, if I really want to master it, if I want to master this book, I could spend, how many pages is this? 400. Nearly 500 pages. If I really wanted to master this book like profoundly, I could probably see myself spending, what would that be? Maybe, 480 pages. And you say about 10 minutes per page, just not like reading alone, but elaborating and everything else I do, Anki and overviews. Averages about probably 10 minutes a page, divided by 60 minutes. So I could see myself spending 80 hours to master this book, like at a profound depth. But like you've seen, it took me 20 minutes of focus to essentially master the framework, the general ideas. I already learned. I had a lot of the knowledge that this book offers already. And let's see if I can show you my learning system. Here it is. Man, they've changed some of this stuff. Here we go. So learning system V2, core principles. We use testing first. Learning, always have the user articulate their understanding before providing synthesized explanations. This is all about recall and the testing effect and the generation effect rather than passive reading. Active recall enforcement, no passive reading. Progressive depth, anti-fragile through variation, so never ask the same question in the same way. Compression and synthesis, force the user to distill and explain concepts in their own words. Testing before learning, active recall. And here's just some quotes that it uses. What do you predict the key principles behind this before I explain? And very practice. Layered recall difficulty, tiers. adaptive compression, high variability context. And that's it. I'll talk to you guys later. See ya.